Hi, Professor. I'm Neha Mathur, and the topic I chose is has to do with child victims. And the topic specifically shows the child victims in the US per state and from the years 2015 to 2019 and from the ages of 1 to 17. I chose this topic because I'm always very interested in humanitarian related issues. And I got this data from healthdata.gov. And on the site, you can find data on a wide range of topics with over 4,500 datasets, including environmental health, medical devices, and more. And the data is collected and supplied from agencies from the US Department of Health and the Human Services, as well as state partners. And I can show the data here real quick. Here's the one that showcases the age for the child victims, and then this is the one per year from 2015 to 2019. And then I can even show the site, healthdata.gov, and this is specifically where I downloaded it from. And so moving forward, the visualization tool I ended up going with is Tableau Public because in my opinion, it's the quickest to create interactive visualizations and also handles large amounts of data extremely well. Not only that, the implementation into a website with the embed feature is really easy and it's free. And both the visualizations are bar graphs, with the first graph having the years as the columns and the states as the rows. And for the second graph, the ages are the columns and the states as the rows. And I can show the visualization over here. So as you can see, both of them are bar graphs. The first one, you can see the years from 2015 to 2019, and the second one, you can see the ages 1 to 17. And now going on, how does the visualization work? It works by comparing the two graphs side by the use of the Tableau dashboard feature. And the user can also hover over the bars and see the quantified number of each child victim amount. So if you take a look, I can showcase that right now. So let's say we want to see which child victim is the most in 2015 for which state. Then I'll go down to 2015 and I can see according to the bars, this California seems to be the most, and that makes sense because California has a huge population. But this is basically how the visualization works. And now, as far as the findings go, I'm going to go back to my visualization and we'll talk about it. So, in a year's difference from 2015 to 2016, the number of child victims in California went from 72,000 to 68,663, which shows a reduction in the number of victims for that state. And then if you look at Vermont, which has the smallest amount of child victims in 2015 and overall, because again, the population is very small in Vermont. But if you look from 2015 to 2016 for Vermont, it goes from 921 in 2015 to 822, which again is a decrease. But that's not the case for every state, so we cannot call the decrease in that year as a pattern for all states. And then California had a population of 35.1 million in 2019, which makes the 2019 child victims as 0.18% of the total population. And I can show you that 2019, it had 64,115 child victims in 2019. And then as far as Vermont goes, in 2019, we have 851 child victims. And for Vermont, the population in 2019 was 623,989. And that makes the 2019 victims in Vermont 0.14% of the total population. And as far as the population goes, I did some extra research for that, but that's how I found those findings. And then if we go to the child, like the number of children per age as victims. Let me make this a little bigger. Um, so the highest number of child victims are the age of 1 in Texas, if you take a look. So that's 5,471. If you compare it to others, see California is 4,221, but Texas is more than that, and then New York is 4,000. All of these, big um, population states have quite a bit of child victims, which makes sense. But Texas seems to be the one with the biggest amount for the age of 1. And then the lowest number of child victims are of the age of 17 in Wyoming, which is over here at 16. And that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for listening to the findings and which tool I chose and my topic.